Everyone has moments in life they can't just stop thinking about. They can be embarrassing things, like that one time you face planted in front of a group of teenagers, or something amazing like the first time you hosted your family for the holidays. And on Baby, This is Keke Palmer, hosted by me, Keke Palmer, and presented by BMW, we know to savor the good memories and let go of the bad. And one thing everyone remembers fondly is their first time behind the wheel of a BMW. So come join me and BMW this summer as we explore pop culture moments and topics you just can't stop thinking about on Baby, This is Keke Palmer. Sponsored by BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
As a person with a very deep voice, I'm hired all the time for advertising campaigns. But a deep voice doesn't sell B2B, and advertising on the wrong platform doesn't sell B2B either. That's why if you're a B2B marketer, you should use LinkedIn ads. LinkedIn has the targeting capabilities to help you reach the world's largest professional audience. That's right, over 70 million decision makers all in one place. All the big wigs, then medium wigs, also small wigs who are on the path to becoming big wigs. Okay, that's enough about wigs. LinkedIn ads allows you to focus on getting your B2B message to the right people. So, does that mean you should use ads on LinkedIn instead of hiring me, the man with the deepest voice in the world? Yes. Yes, it does. Get started today and see why LinkedIn is the place to be to be. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
What is The Briefing Room? It's a behind-the-scenes look at how the criminal justice system works and the lives of the people within that system.
If you love true crime, well, these are the real people who do the job every day of making sure justice is served.
Hi, I'm Detective Dave.
I'm Detective Dan. Together, we have decades of experience in local law enforcement, a profession that we think is often misunderstood.
So we're going to explore how to do it right, and we won't shy away from when it's done wrong. These are stories you'll hear nowhere else. Unique, frank, and unvarnished.
From the team that brought you Small Town Dicks, this is The Briefing Room. Episode 1 drops on August 30th.
We'll meet you in the briefing room.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.
Somebody please think of the children!
That's where we're at today. I burnt a fucking pizza. That is where we're at today. Whatever, this is all going in. I don't even care. Welcome back to Scar for Life. Oh, shit. No, welcome back to Little Cut. See, it has been a fucking day, y'all. Our weekly minisode where we dig into the things that we've been watching recently. I'm dead. I'm Terry. Hello.
I'm Mary Beth. I'm also dead. This week we're talking about some murderous siblings, some murderous dolls, some murderous spouses, and some murderous... Just one of those days.
Y'all, I just want to say I literally tried to mute myself because I was coughing because it again has been that week. And what do? I hit stop recording. So... Hello. I don't know what all was recorded, but I'm pretty sure you got the intro. But just in case not, we are talking a lot of murder, y'all.
We're talking lots of murder. We are talking lots and lots of murder. I want to hear about these murderous dolls real quick, though.
Okay, so the Chucky series is
I've heard great things.
Yes, it's been airing on Sci-Fi and I think USA. I think it's on both.
Oh yeah,
I've seen the first episode and I really dug it. I'm really curious to see how they're going to handle this because like it feels sort of like a reboot in some ways because it's like the doll that opens up with this kid finding this doll at a yard sale. The doll, of course, is Chucky. He goes home and Chucky starts immediately being Chucky. But like, I know that in a way it's like a sequel to the 7 movies that have come before. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like it's going to get really wild and weird. and I'm really excited for that. So because of this show, that's not what I wanted to talk about today. I rewatched Curse of Chucky. Have you seen Curse of Chucky?
I only saw the first Child's Play. I'm not a big...
Okay.
I don't dislike... There's no dislike of Chucky. I just never really got into it. But I want to see Bride of Chucky. All of especially the new ones, the newer ones seem to be... Or some of them seem to be good. I don't know.
I love all of the ones from Bride onward. And Curse of Chucky was sort of, in a way, kind of another rebirth of it, where it kind of takes it back to its horror roots. Instead of being more of the kind of satire, kind of parody that I think it became between Bride and Seed. And so it's about this woman in a wheelchair who has been living with her mom, and her mom's been kind of taking care of her, and she's been kind of taking care of her mom. And then her mom receives a package with a good guy doll in it, Chucky, and then she ends up dead in a way that looks like it's suicide. And so then her family, her sisters, the woman, her name is Nika, her sister and her sister's husband and her au pair and their daughter come to the place for the funeral. And then Chucky starts picking them off one by one. And what feels like a reboot is actually a continuation of the story in some really fun and surprising ways. It was a lot of fun to revisit this one. I haven't seen it since, it came out in 2013. So I haven't seen it since then. And it was a pleasant rewatch.
Cool.
I have to say. And it's set in this one location in this mansion, this kind of like old Victorian mansion that gives off these like gothic vibes. And it has a very Hammer-esque, I would say, feel to it in a way that the previous ones do not.
Oh, really?
But it was a lot of fun.
Huh.
Yeah. It was really good to revisit.
How many Chucky movies are there? Many?
7?
Okay.
7.
Okay.
Yeah, not including the remake, there are 7. Because there's 1 through 3, and then there's Bride, Seed, Curse, and then Cult.
Oh, Cult. I forgot about Cult of Chucky. Wow. There are a lot of those movies. Holy shit.
There really are. And, it's a queer creator, queer writer, queer director.
Fucking love it.
Here for it.
I'm very here for it.
This is his baby, and he's been with it from the beginning, and I love that for him.
Me too.
And I love that for us.
Seriously, I love that he's still so involved with everything about Chucky. Keeps it or what?
No, go ahead.
I forgot what I was saying. It's fine. It just flew out of my brain. Boop. So.
Pew. Okay, what about these murderous siblings?
All right. So I watched Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And, I saw the original, Rob Zombie's Halloween, and I did not like it at all. And I thought, okay, well, everyone says that 2 is like some kind of masterpiece, I guess. So I decided, all right, well, I'll watch it. Fuck it. It's Halloween season. I'm trying to watch all the Halloween movies, like, in rapid succession, so I started there. What the fuck?
I have not seen it, so I don't honestly know what the fuck. But I have heard. I mean, I saw your image that you posted on Twitter, and I've heard people talk about the image that you posted on Twitter. And everything I hear about this feels like it's a fever dream. But what is this one about?
So, okay, so this takes place, I think, 2, 3, 4 years, or 2 years after the events of the first movie, which is when Michael attacks Laurie, and this is like her like PTSD, like survivor story. Like she's living, like she's alive, and like what does her life look like now that she is has survived this trauma? And her friend Annie has also survived. She is the daughter of Sheriff Brackett, as we all know who Sheriff Brackett is, and they all like live together in this like weird little like sad house. They think that Michael is dead. He's not. But also the whole thing is we know that Laurie is his sister in both movies, but she finds out in this movie. And so it's all about like her trying to like reckon with her childhood and Michael coming back to get her to reunite them, because Michael is seeing his mother, who is played by Sherry Moon Zombie, and the mother has a horse. And she's like, we have to spill blood so we can all be together again. You have to go get Lori. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. I don't get when people think it's a masterpiece. Scout Taylor Compton's performance is terrible as Lori. I don't think I watched the director's cut, and I heard the director's cut makes her seem better. But still, like, they give Lori, like, dreadlocks to show that she is suffering, which is, like, so fucking stupid. And I don't know. I don't get the Rob Zombie Halloweens. I don't like them. I didn't have a good time. I don't understand. I don't understand it. And, like, if you like it, I know a lot of people do. Good on ya. Happy for you. Great. I don't get it, but here I am.
I mean, I'm happy to hear you say that because I never checked it out. I actually do think I own the, I think the Chow Factory put it out. I don't remember who did, but the whole set of Halloween movies, even though I've literally only seen a handful of them. And I've never watched it because I absolutely hated Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween. Absolutely hated it. But again, I'm also not I like Rob Zombie's music, but I don't think he's a very good film director. I don't like his movies. And I feel bad saying that because everyone on Twitter seems to like dig a lot of what he does, particularly Lords of Salem, which I've not seen because again, it's not Fool Me Once. You know, I watched House of Thousand Corpses, hated it. Watched Halloween, hated it. Watched 3 from Hell, didn't hate but didn't love. And I'm like, okay, I think I'm done.
Yeah, and like I've only I've seen House of a Thousand Corpses. I've seen Lords of Salem. I didn't mind House of a Thousand Corpses. Lords of Salem, and then I saw both of his Halloweens, and I just don't get it. He's not for me. Yeah. He's just not for me. Yeah, not for me. Too edgelord for me. Mm-hmm. Let's just put it that way. So, I mean, I'm glad I've seen it. I'm glad I can at least, like, kind of understand what people are talking about now when they talk about that movie, because holy shit. I will say, I do appreciate that Zombie did kind of just, like, say, I don't know, let me just fucking throw my, like, balls to the wall. And I'm like, all right, like, it's pretty outrageous. And, like, I can kind of respect that, like, absolutely just, like, don't give a fuck batshit crazy stuff.
Yeah.
With Michael, but just, like, Laurie's character is, like, inexcusably terrible. I'm sorry. I usually don't have to be like, not like super negative, and like I don't want to be like an asshole hater, but just like I couldn't. It just wasn't. It wasn't it. So, but yes. So that was my big watch this week. Murderous Couples.
Yeah. Okay. So if you guys haven't seen season 1 or 2 and don't want to be spoiled on how season 3, I'm not going to really talk much about plots of season 3, but if you don't want to know how it's weird talking about a show that's like 3 seasons in, because it's like you're obviously going to talk about spoilers about the previous 2 seasons. But yeah, so season 3, I am about halfway through and I'm really digging it. You've not watched You before, right?
No.
So
I was not wanting to watch it because I was like, I don't want to watch a movie or a show about a creepy stalker boy. But I've heard it's good. I know since then I have heard good things about it. But it got me kind of not wanting to watch it when I first heard about it.
I mean, that is absolutely fair. And the people's reaction to how hot Penn Badgley is, to the point where Penn Badgley is like, yo, maybe don't sexualize a murderer. I love that he comes out and says that, because that's absolutely what people have been doing, because Penn Badgley, he's a hot man. He's very attractive. I get it. But like, the character of Joe is not a pleasant person. And I completely understand people not wanting to watch a show that puts him as in front and center as the main character. I wouldn't call him a protagonist, but he's the main character. Yeah. And I mean, for those that don't know, it's this man who becomes transfixed by a woman and starts stalking her, and you are with him the entire time. It's like in his head, he has a monologue, and I think that what the show does do well is it sort of like undercuts all of his pompousness, where he kind of talks about like how he's in love with this person and how he's so obsessed with them, and then like his monologue just sort of adds this sort of like, yeah, this guy is a giant tool. He's a horrible person. By the third movie, he has found someone that is his equal, in terms of like, she is also murderous, and he's married to her and has a kid and is now living in suburbia.
Oh.
Yeah. And so it's like, there's this one really funny, I'm going to spoil one little kill in the early episodes. There's one really funny part because she has his love interest, who is named Love. Her name is Love, is played by Victoria Pedretti from Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
In Bly Manor. And she is able to just sort of let shit fly on this. And she is very impulsive. And there's one point where this guy, their son gets sick with measles. And they find out that one of the next door neighbors' kids, they're an anti-vaxxer. And when she finds out that this guy caused all of this grief in her family, she kills him. Well, she doesn't kill him. She knocks him on the head, and then he ends up dying later on in the episode. But like, she is completely impulsive in her murderous outrage. Although, like, the people that she kills, it's like, yeah, I don't blame you. In the context of the show, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's it walks that uneasy balance of like, they're interesting characters, but they're also absolutely horrible. But then by the season 3, everyone that is around them is equally horrible. So it's sort of not going to be for everyone, but I find it incredibly enthralling to watch. And there's a lot of twists and turns. So that's currently on Netflix, and it's a wild ride.
Cool. I've wanted to watch it, and I've heard good things about season 3 on Twitter.
I'm really enjoying it so far. I really enjoyed season 2. Season 1 I thought was fine. Season 2 is where things really started to pick up for me personally. And then season 3 so far has been just a lot of fun. And Shalita Grant is in it, who I absolutely love. She played an important role in the 3rd season of Search Party. And she was my favorite part of that season of Search Party.
Okay.
And she's in this, and she is just absolutely perfect. Cast her and everything. I love Shalita.
Cool.
So yeah, that was my murderous spouses.
Now I got murderous friends.
Yeah. What did you think of Larry Fessenden's Beneath?
Huh. Did not expect it to be so nihilistic.
Yeah.
And so bleak. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Same. I mean, so the premise is really basic. It's about 6 high school seniors who are celebrating graduation, and they go out to this lake. One of them knows that there's something weird about the lake, but doesn't tell anyone. And he's thinking that they're just going to, boat across it to the other land and set up camp and whatnot. But then one of them decides to jump in the water. They end up getting attacked by a man-eating fish, and then they start killing each other? Is that?
Yeah, that about tracks. They go Lord of the Flies really fucking quick.
Really fucking quick.
Like, really, really fast. I liked it a lot.
Okay.
I got really frustrated with a lot of the characters. But what I liked was, like, Larry Fessenden always has this, like, kind of very, like, cinema verite style to a lot of his work. And I liked that a lot here in terms of portraying teenagers at first. It got a little bit not so teenager-y towards, like, the middle and end. But, like, I kind of liked how he had the characterize these teenagers and, like, and how he had them interacting as friends. And I loved, like, that the initial interactions with them and kind of establishing their friendships. But then, like, and then it started getting dark very quickly. And I got frustrated a couple times where I was like, why didn't you just tell them that there was something in the water? And, like, I was expecting the Johnny, the guy who knows, like, there's something in the water. I was expecting him to be like, I brought you all here because fuck you, and was like going to act, like, was going to feed them to the thing. Was disappointed when that was not not accurate. But I was overall impressed at how Larry Fessenden was able to shoot, like, an 1.5-hour movie that was pretty intense on the rowboat in the middle of a little lake. Like,
on
it
a
was
rowboat
really,
in a lake.
Yeah, it's really fucking impressive. And, like, for the budget that it has, the fish is really cool. Like, it's a practical effects giant fish. Like,
I'm impressed.
It's really awesome. It's really impressive.
I was actually really impressed at the effects work with the fish because like, I mean, you know, you it's practical effects, it's low budget, and yet I think it looks as good as Jaws, at least on par, a movie that we all love.
It's got a lot of those good moments, like with like the fish coming out of the water, and you can see the whole mouth. Like it is a fish. Like it's not some like shitty CGI abomination. It's like an actual creature that they made, and I think that really helps the movie feel all the more intense. Like when you see it's swimming towards them, like it's an actual fin. It's not a shitty CGI fin, and so it just adds that to that tension really well. And again, like I was really impressed with how like the effects and like what they were able to do with this film, like with a low budget creature feature, aquatic horror creature feature, is something I didn't really like think I would enjoy. But hey, here we are.
You know, I liked how you mentioned that Larry is really good at making that sort of cinema verite. Because one of the notes that I did take is one of my favorite scenes was from the very beginning of the movie where they're moving the boat, and it's such a small scene.
Oh my god, Terry! I was going to bring up that scene too. That's so funny.
I literally took a note about this scene of them moving the boat is one of the small scenes that Larry is so well at establishing. It's very naturalistic was my note. And I just love the sort of natural way that these people are interacting and moving the boat, and they're not good at it. So they're like moving back and grabbing it. And like, it's just, it's such a small scene, but it's a one that stuck out in my mind this entire watch and still to today. I love that scene.
Yeah, I did too. I was really struck by that scene about like how it was really like them switching spots for me was just like, it's so small, but it's so like he didn't have to show that, but he did. And it's like, it really adds to that kind of the layering of these characters and like their literal strengths, but like also kind of like their relationships in a really subtle, interesting way. So yeah, I was really impressed by that because I think it sets up a lot of stuff for later in the movie when everyone starts getting at each other's throats like very quickly.
Yeah, my first one of the first notes I took is because one of the characters, one of the people dies really early, and they're having a debate about what to do with their body. And I wrote a note, Mary Beth, if we're ever stranded on a lake and I die, please feed my body to the fish and use it to escape.
Yes. Yeah, me too.
Do not argue over it.
Yeah, don't worry about a burial. I'm already dead. Just feed me. It's fine. It's totally fine. Yeah,
I also love / hate how the film nerd in so many movies is an absolute sexist, gross, and he's sitting there filming while everyone is working their asses off, and I'm just like, why?
So
why are you?
That's Griffin Newman. He's in and I love Griffin Newman. Like I think he's so funny, but I love him in this. Because the things I've seen him in, he's like kind of the nerdy, funny guy, and in this, like he's the nerdy guy, but he's an asshole. Like he
really is.
He is terrible, but he's really good at it. Like I want more characters for Griffin Newman where he can be an asshole because he's a really good asshole in this movie. Like I was ready for them to throw him overboard. I was like, feed that fucker to the fish. I don't need to hear him anymore. But he has a GoPro on his wrist, which is so funny. But there are moments that are like found footage, which is so cool. Like there's a moment, especially at one point where you're in the water, that I think is really cool. That has like a found footage element because you're seeing it through the lens of the GoPro. So there are some really interesting moments like that. And of course, it's the usual like he's shooting everyone's ass and is like, "Hello, let me see your butt." Like, haha. And I'm like, if any friend of mine ever spoke to me like that, I would never talk to them again. Same.
Like
get the fuck away from me.
I don't understand how people like this are friends. Like, I don't halfway through the movie, I'm like, is this what friendship is for some people? Because I would not be friends with any of these people.
Know. No, they're all terrible. Also, like the fact that they all, it's like not uncommon in friend groups people to date, but just like Johnny being hung up on Kitty still, and like that's all very weird. I was like, again, that's why I was like, he's going to kill all of them in the lake.
Well, and like before I found out that they were brothers, there's a moment in the car where the guy's looking at the jock and Kitty making out, and it almost looked like he was jealous of her.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh, they're brothers. I'm like, that's a weird dynamic there.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
I do have to say, I was surprised to look up some of the reviews for this movie, and horror people did not like this movie.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I remember looking on Letterboxd. Where did you look?
Well, I looked on, it has a low score on Rotten Tomatoes, and I was looking on Wikipedia, and...
Yeah, looking on Letterboxd. Reviews aren't great. A couple people that we know liked it, but most people think it's terrible. I don't think it was terrible. I think
the script was a little rough.
the script was rough. I think there were some things where I was like, huh, but I had fun.
No, I think it's shot well. I think there are certain scenes like that we talked about with the boat in the beginning, and I think the fish itself is really well done for an independent film that was made for $1 million, if that.
Can I read you this Letterboxd review?
Please do.
A big fish is a metaphor for the secrets and lies we keep hidden beneath the surface. I fell asleep for a bit, and when I awoke, I'd pissed myself. That's my secret shame. Come and eat me, slightly oversized fish. I deserve it.
Okay, that review wins. How many stars was it?
A 1.
One.
Just a single star.
I can't even fault it. Bravo.
No.
That is a review.
Yeah. Anyway. Just thought you would enjoy that one. It was a good one.
I do. That's hilarious.
But yeah, a lot of people are saying it's annoying. Yeah, I can see that. Some of the dialogue was not great.
I think it's a better
Some
film
of the
movie
choices-
than it was written.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It definitely was more, yeah. And that felt like the vibe. He was like, look, I can make an aquatic horror movie on a low budget. Who gives a shit about the the dialogue? Look what I could make it. And you're like, yeah, you're right. You did that.
So and the script was written by Tony Daniel and Brian D. Smith, and it sounds like he greatly revised the script, removing several flashback scenes in an attempt to keep the drama within the claustrophobic boat. And I get that from like a filmmaking perspective, but I am curious if the flashbacks help, because they do sort of go from 0 to 60 incredibly fast, considering they're on a boat in a lake.
In a lake, and like they seem like they're good friends, and all of a sudden they're like, nope.
All of a sudden,
Get
it's just
out.
like
My favorite was when they finally realized they could chop up the wood in the boat to use as oars.
yes.
I was like, you've already killed like half of your friends, and you just realized that you could do that.
Hilarious.
You all want to secretly kill each other, which really, I mean, like all high school student friend groups want to all kill each other at any given point. So, like, I guess it's just a metaphor for high school students.
I am curious. There's a comic that explores the backstory behind the fish and another group that the giant fish attacked in the 1960s.
Oh,
I bet that would be interesting.
I bet that would be interesting. Yeah, I want to know more about the fish.
I loved him.
He's a good
Chunky
fish.
boy.
He's a good boy. Just hungry.
He's just
Hasn't
hungry.
eaten in so long.
You'd be too if you're a giant catfish in a lake. I mean, what else are you going to be eating? There's probably not a whole lot to knob on. Knob on? Wow. I don't know. I don't know.
Doing great.
Doing fine, y'all.
But yeah, I'm glad we watched it. I'm glad I finally watched it.
Okay, so for our next little cuts, what are we doing, Mary Beth?
We are doing Underwater.
Yeah, we are.
From 2020.
And in our aquatic horror with one of the last really good ones.
I know. I'm very excited to revisit this one. I really had a fun time. I saw it in theaters, so I'm excited to watch it. So
Me too. I haven't seen it since the theaters.
Neither have I. And then, who are we talking to on Monday?
So we are chatting with writer, podcaster, and filmmaker Josh Korngut, and we are taking it back to 1998 and The Faculty and the thing living on top of Josh Hartnett's head.
The thing living on top of Josh Hartnett's head. What a good movie. Very
I think that's what it should
excited
have been
about
called.
It should have been. So listeners, you've heard from us, but we want to hear from you. Did you watch a film that we watched this week and have thoughts? Do you have suggestions for movies that we should talk about? Send us an email at scarredforlifepodcast@gmail.com. Or you can reach out to us directly on Twitter. I am at MB McAndrews.
And I'm at Gaily Dreadful.
And of course, don't forget to follow the podcast on Twitter at Scarred Podcast.
And please don't forget to review, rate, and subscribe because it has been a minute.
Please. Thank you, Eric Power, for our artwork. Thank you, Sean Keller, for our music. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Please stay safe out there, but most importantly, stay creepy.
And until next time, stay away from those fish.
Somebody please think of the children! Somebody please think of the children! Somebody please think of the children!
As a person with a very deep voice, I'm hired all the time for advertising campaigns. But a deep voice doesn't sell B2B, and advertising on the wrong platform doesn't sell B2B either. That's why if you're a B2B marketer, you should use LinkedIn ads. LinkedIn has the targeting capabilities to help you reach the world's largest professional audience. That's right, over 70 million decision makers all in one place. All the big wigs and medium wigs, also small wigs who are on the path to becoming big wigs. Okay, that's enough about wigs. LinkedIn ads allows you to focus on getting your B2B message to the right people. So, does that mean you should use ads on LinkedIn instead of hiring me, the man with the deepest voice in the world? Yes. Yes, it does. Get started today and see why LinkedIn is the place to be to be. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
What is The Briefing Room? It's a behind-the-scenes look at how the criminal justice system works and the lives of the people within that system.
If you love true crime, well, these are the real people who do the job every day of making sure justice is served.
Hi, I'm Detective Dave.
I'm Detective Dan. Together, we have decades of experience in local law enforcement, a profession that we think is often misunderstood.
So we're going to explore how to do it right, and we won't shy away from when it's done wrong. These are stories you'll hear nowhere else. Unique, frank, and unvarnished.
From the team that brought you Small Town Dicks, this is The Briefing Room. Episode 1 drops on August 30th. We'll meet you in the briefing room.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.